Who really invented tea? The 5,000-year mystery behind the world's favorite drink. What if everything you've ever heard about the invention of tea was only half the story? For nearly 5,000 years, billions of people have thanked the same man for discovering tea. There's just one problem. No one knows if he actually did. And if the famous story is a myth, then who really invented the world's favorite drink? The answer is far stranger than you might imagine. It begins in ancient China, around 2737 BC. According to legend, Emperor Shennong was obsessed with one simple rule: never drink unboiled water. Thousands of years before anyone knew about bacteria, he believed boiling water kept people healthy. One afternoon, while his servants prepared hot water beneath a wild tree, something completely unexpected happened. A gentle breeze shook the branches. Several small leaves drifted into the steaming pot. Most people would have dumped it out and started over. Shennong did the exact opposite. He took a cautious sip. The drink was light, fragrant, slightly bitter, yet strangely refreshing. Legend says he immediately realized he'd discovered something extraordinary. And just like that, tea was born. It's a wonderful story. There's only one tiny problem. There's absolutely no evidence that it ever happened. In fact, historians believe the story of Shennong wasn't written down until thousands of years after his supposed discovery. Which means one of the most famous origin stories in history might simply be a legend. So what actually happened? Scientists believe the tea plant, Camellia sinensis, grew wild across the forests of southern China long before civilization learned to farm it. Early humans probably encountered it while searching for edible plants. At first, they likely chewed the leaves or used them as medicine. Then, sometime later, someone made a tiny decision that changed history forever. They dropped the leaves into hot water. No one knows who that person was. Their name has been lost forever. But that unknown individual may have had a bigger impact on human history than almost anyone alive today. Because tea didn't remain a simple drink for very long. By the Tang Dynasty, tea had become an obsession. People studied it, wrote books about it, turned brewing tea into an elegant ritual. Poets praised it. Monks drank it to stay awake during long hours of meditation. And merchants realized something even more important. Tea could make them incredibly rich. Soon, caravans loaded with tea crossed mountains, traveled the Silk Road, and sailed across dangerous oceans. The leaves reached Japan, where they became a sacred ceremony. They reached India, where they evolved into fragrant masala chai. They reached Morocco, where they were blended with fresh mint. And when tea finally arrived in Britain, people loved it so much that it helped reshape global trade, build enormous fortunes, and even contributed to conflicts between empires. Not bad. For a handful of leaves blown into a pot. Or perhaps, for an experiment carried out by someone whose name we'll never know. So, who invented tea? If you believe the legend, it was Emperor Shennong. If you trust the historians, the true inventor has been forgotten by history. But maybe that's what makes tea so fascinating. Unlike the light bulb, or the airplane, tea doesn't belong to one brilliant inventor. It belongs to thousands of years of curiosity, countless anonymous hands, and one tiny moment when someone looked into a pot of hot water and decided, why not taste it? Sometimes, the greatest discoveries in human history aren't planned. They're simply too delicious to ignore.